And we have a question from a grandmother, and we would like to answer it for you today. As a grandmother, I feel you will understand my concern that my oldest grandson, who is now 7 years old, is foolish and silly. I find it so strange that he acts so ridiculous, like a slobbering fool. For example, he sticks his tongue out and waves his fingers over it, making strange noises while sending saliva spewing, then laughs as everyone tries to get away. He is a kind child and very loving. The father to my grandchild saw my repulsion at his boy's slobbering behavior and just smiled and tried to reassure me by saying, "He'll grow up in time." I can honestly say out of my 7 children, none ever acted with such a lack of dignity. Not at 2 years old and certainly not at 7. I only hope he will not influence the rest of the grandchildren coming on. What's a grandmother to do?
It is something to be concerned about. I can see how embarrassing it would be for the grandmother, and I think it should be embarrassing for the parents. If you leave a child to himself, especially if he watches videos or video games or spends a lot of time with other small children that are acting like a fool, then he may end up acting foolish. Being with his daddy, being with mature people, being with adults, being engaged in serious conversation, all that's going to help him have a different image of himself. Number one, I would get involved with him, doing things positive and constructive so that he has another world outside the slobbering idiot world. And then the second thing I would do is when he does act like that, be negative about it. In other words, look at him like, I can't believe you're doing that, you know?
Yeah, I think I would say to him, you know, your daddy was my little boy, and your daddy never did that when he was growing up. He was far too wise to do a thing like that. I think maybe you should not do that anymore because it makes you look so foolish and silly.
If people laugh at him or have an emotional response that recognizes his presence, he'll keep on doing it. So you should shun that kind of response. Turn your back on it. Say something about it negative and let him know that he's not going to be loved, he's not going to be looked at, he's not going to be enjoyed when he's acting like that.